NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? Are you right? I hope you are. You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Tuesday, December 10. And I am your host, James Clements. You can also see me on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, if you dig your Supercoach. You can see me on the AFL Today show, NFL Straya, all the good stuff there. Here in Larry Armour Studios once more, just because I'm still a bit, woke up. Still carrying that bloody cold yesterday, just all nasally in gear. Feeling a bit better today, but it's probably because I'm just loaded up on cold and flu tablets. Anyway, just going to talk very quickly today. It's like the 5 most disappointing teams. I want to list these off. And it's more like the 5 teams that make me angriest. Basically, right? That's how it's going to roll. We're going to do standings check as well. And we'll revisit the quarter season awards now that we've sort of just gone past the quarterway mark. And we'll do the NBA Cup knockout preview. That's going to be fun. The NBA Cup. It's the knockout stages tomorrow. It's going to be chaos. Cannot wait. So that'll be fun. So quick show today. We'll wrap up the Knicks-Raptors game, the only game on today, and that'll be it. We'll get out of here. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1172 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Mick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the Shaq attack.
You better watch out for the Simpsons attack, I guess, if you're watching that NFL game between the Bengals and the Cowboys. They have the Simpsons broadcast. It's like, okay, this is weird. I'd also rather just watch normal football, but still. Which begs the question, should we be doing a Simpsons basketball game? Maybe. I just want, basically, every time I see that sort of Simpsons stuff, I'm like, can we just have Simpsons hit and run back? Like, all the game nerds out there just going, yes, Jim, great call. Let's do that. In terms of the actual Shaq attack, apparently Shaq and Ludacris are having Shaq's Funhouse in New Orleans for the, Super Bowl down there. I'm tempted to buy tickets. Who's going to come with me? We're going to the Super Bowl in Shaq's Funhouse. Woo! Anyway, let's get stuck into today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show with the Daily. Oh, it's a quick whip around to the gym. Yeah, look, the Tuesday shows are always the really quick ones now. I'm basically trying to figure out the cadence of this show because it is quite hard with 2 small children, actual job, and doing all this all the time, as well as the NFL show that happens on Tuesdays. So it gets very crammed very quickly. So, look, we do our quick Tuesday show. I think this is okay for the minute. We'll see how we go the rest of the year. Anyway, in the news, Ant-Man got fined $25,000 for expletives during a post-game media conference. Basically, he's like, yeah, we're fucking gutting our asses off, man. Oh, it's fucking sickos, bro. We're all over the shop. It's like, oh, yeah, you can't. You can't say that. Turns out. Hey, that's about it in terms of news, apart from the fact that I think we got Players of the Week announced. There was Luka Doncic, which is kind of neat. And Tyler, there goes my hero. So Luka averaged a lazy 29, 12, and 8, and Hero averaged 25, 6, and 5.5. That's pretty good. It's not bad, man. Not bad. Meanwhile, the Joker dropped 104 points in 2 games over the weekend, but I guess that doesn't count somehow. He also, remarkably, Jokic became the first player to do like the 104 points, over 100 plus points, whatever, and 30 plus rebounds and 15 plus assists over a 2-game stretch. So that's pretty good. He was also the first one to have 55 plus points, 15 plus rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 made threes in a game. He's just racking up firsts. It's not bad. Pretty good. It also got me that sort of thinking about so we all know that Kobe went on that historic run, so he had the 81 points, and he bracketed obviously with a crap ton of other points as well. And he had 37 the night before, 81 the next day, 30 I think after that. And yeah, so Jokic is just in Kobe mode, I think, at this point, like 06 Kobe. I think we're all miscasting. He was like, oh, he's just incredible. He's like a 7'2" Serbian Russell Westbrook and combined with Magic and LeBron. So I don't know, he just might be a 7'2" Serbian Kobe, perhaps. Let him score. Let the Joker cook. Right. We'll do the game wrap and then the standings check-in, and then we'll do the rest of the show, which will be the awards check-in and the disappointing team. So quickly, game wrap from today. Game wrap. The one game, it was actually a really fun game. Knicks beat the Raptors in Toronto, 113-108. Karl Anthony Towns did play, but this was a weird game. It was tight all the way through, basically. The lead changes coming out the wazoo. So Karl Anthony Towns plays. The Raptors lose Scotty Barnes to a brutal twisted ankle, where he's out there on the floor screaming, I can't feel my foot, I can't feel my foot. So that's a pretty tough ankle sprain if you ask me. Jesus. So that was the third quarter. Brunson also, amazingly enough, Jalen Brunson pulled a Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's right. He tripped over a fan's foot courtside. Remember Larry tripped over Shaq? Talk about the Shaq attack. And then even after that, you had Karl Anthony Towns rolling his foot on Kelly Olynyk's foot too, and they both run into each other, and everyone's going down. And then the actual game was psycho. Like, it was awesome. No one ever really sort of eked out much going on, and they sort of went back and forth. At one point, I think we had, let's have a look at what was the lead changes? It was just absurd. Yeah, the biggest lead there was the Knicks with 11 points, but before that, it was just nuts, mate. So it's one of those great worms, and I love a good worm. I love a good AFL worm. They're some of the great worms. But the way that this sort of just kept going back and forth, it's like a Ray Allen tweet. It's like the Hawk Tour Girls fucking meme coin. I'll tell you what. But that was pretty fun. Awesome gear. Fun game. Insane game. And then it comes down to this fourth quarter stretch at the end where Davion Mitchell hits a three. Raptors are feeling pretty good. They've got the lead again. Brunson has a 4-point play. Oh, jeez. Bridges hits a go-ahead three after that. There's a bucket from RJ in there. Then Brunson has this insane pass through traffic to Cat under the bucket. And he gets it up and in. And you're just like, oh, Drews. And then Cat hits a sick, massive three that is the absolute dagger. He's grabbing his Knicks top. If you're watching on the YouTube, he's just popping his top out. And I'm like, oh, I think he likes being a New York Knick. Yeah, just a little bit. So it was a big win for the Knickerbockers. Like, Brunson obviously came back after twisting his ankle on the fan. But yeah, I feel like the Raps would have gotten this if Scoob had have stayed upright and not with a bung foot. So very tough gear. They shot 45% from the floor, 13 of 35 from downtown. Grady had a bit of a crap one. Old Grady Dick, the old BJ from Righteous Gemstones. They out-rebounded the Knicks 51-40, which is one of those things worth keeping an eye on when it comes to the Knickerbockers. Without the other Mitch Robinson, they sometimes can get smashed on the boards when Josh Hart has a quiet game, and that's exactly what happens. So you can negate Josh Hart sometimes. And it seems like if you target him, cut him out of the game, it makes it a lot harder. But the Knicks still got by because Brunson is awesome, and so is Cat. And so was Mikal Bridges today. So for the Raptors, Scoob had 15, 5, and 3 before he left. But RJ Barrett, revenge! Great game. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He was really good. 3 of 7 from deep, 13 of 24 from the floor. You're like, this is what you expect from RJ. He was really good. 10 and 12 and 4 with a couple of blocks for Teenage Mutant, Jakob Poeltl. Okchag Baji wasn't that great. Wasn't that horrible. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But the big one for me was Kobe. Combining Ja Morant and Kobe Bryant, clearly. He had 19 points. Jacoby Walter off the bench just goes whoopang. Got 8 points from Davion Mitchell. Kelly Olynyk, not too bad either. But I would very much like to thank, and because we're not going to do the daily awards because there's only one game, but the one man who came out and stepped up, I'll tell you what, it was our man Grady Dick. Because what did he shoot, Jim? Oh no! Did he? Oh, that's right. Grady Dick goes chill. Woo! 311. Grady Dick, you little ripper. You look like a weirdo who thrill kills hobos for fun. But still, he had 7 points on 311 shooting. You beauty. For the Knickerbockers of New York City, you got 23, 3, and 3 for Mikal Bridges. He went 5 of 8 from deep. His shot looks so funky and so weird, but it went in a bunch today. OG, not much of a revenge game for him. 14 points on 14 shots. But amazing, he had 2 steals and 3 blocks and was just causing all sorts of defensive havoc. He had 10, 4, and 3 from Josh Hart. 8 from Deuce McBride. He hit a couple of threes early on. Campaign and Precious both had 7 points as well. Precious was a problem for the Raps. He's a big dude. He had 7 points and 6 rebounds, but 2 sick blocks. Precious not much of a block shot dude usually, right? He's very much like Beef Stew. He's that slightly undersized power forward big man. And boom, he just goes bang. Yeah, so that's only his third game for the season, Precious, now that he's back. He's now got 3 blocks in those games, so that's pretty good. But the big one's obviously Karl Anthony Towns. That's the NBA Straya approved performance of the night. 24, 15, and 6 assists, crushing it to go 2 steals and 2 blocks. Bang! Just absolutely brutal. 2 of 5 from deep, 7 of 13 from the floor. He was unreal. That 3 was just smashed it. And Brunson, 20 points, 11 assists. Very nice. 4 of 8 from deep. They crushed it. Knicks moved to 15 and 9. The Raptors are 7 and 18. It's a bit of a tough one, I tell you. Tough up there in Toronto, but they did cover. We called it yesterday, the 5.5, and we called it again this morning on the NBA Straya drop-off vibes. So thank you, Raps, for at least getting us that win. Right, elsewhere, with this in mind, do you want to do a quick standings check? I love doing a good standings check just because the NBA moves so quickly all the time. That you sort of go, who's having a good season? And, we do weekend winners and losers every Monday. But it's like, if you ask me, hey, Jim, what's this team's record? I'm like, it's probably this. And you're like, you're completely wrong. Stats Boys literally just sent me a message saying, F you, Scotty Barnes. That's a bad beat. Scotty Barnes, he needed 6 rebounds from this very, 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 very large multi that he sent me. He's missed it by 1. I'm going to have to let him know, bro, he got injured. That's brutal. Bro, he got injured. You suck. You better listen to this when it goes up. It didn't send. Anyway, good times, great memories. Okay, let's do the standings check. Let's start out east. We have, that's right, everybody's bloody favourite. I love him. I love him so much. Even after a loss yesterday, on top of the East, still Cleveland at 21 and 4, cruising. They're 13 and 1 at home. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland! And they are a problem. But the thing is, I didn't really hit on this in the news. Obviously, Mobley, we mentioned on yesterday's show. He twisted his ankle yesterday against the Heat, left and didn't come back. It seems like it's not that bad. They've come out and said, it doesn't look like that bad. It's not going to be a long-term thing, so hopefully he's all right. The Boston Celtics are 19 and 5 in second. Makes sense. The reigning champions. And both those two teams are averaging 121.4 and 120.1 points per game. Yeah, your offense is not bad there. Jeez. Good size, I'll tell you what. Orlando sits 17 and 9 in third. There was a big win they got against the Suns yesterday. But by the same token, losing... So they've got the NBA Cup. I'm about to talk about this in a second. They play tomorrow, and they won't have Franz Wagner, hello, or Paolo Banchero. It's a lot to ask from Jalen Suggs and Goga. But, Orlando just absolutely kicked in the dick by those injuries. It sucks. But to be 17 and 9 already after losing Paolo is massive. So great job by the Orlando team to get themselves to where they can maybe ride out the next little bit of not having Paolo and then not having Franz. The New York Knickerbockers of New York City, as mentioned, they're now 15 and 9 in fourth, looking pretty good. 7 and 3 in their last 10. The Heaters are 12 and 10 in fifth. And this is where you go, geez, the East sucks, because they're 12 and 10 and they're in fifth. They're barely above 500. And then in sixth, you got the Milwaukee Bucks. That's right, it's Algonquin for the good land, because they've completely turned around their season. It was a horror show to start off with. They've now won 8 of 10. And they're 12 and 11. So they're barely above 500, and they're in the actual guaranteed playoff spot in 6. So that's not bad. Bucks feeling good. Atlanta in 13 and 12 in 7th. That checks out. They've been very up and down all year. It's like, hey, what's that over there? Is that a good team? Let's beat them. Hey, who's that over there? It's Washington. We better lose. Brooklyn. And this is where the drop-off happens in the East. And this is why you've always got a chance in the East, because the drop-off is right there. In 8th, the Brooklyn Nets are 10 and 14. 4 games under 500. And they're in 8th. It's chaos. This is why the Sixers are probably fine. Because Brooklyn are 10 and 14. That's 14 losses. the Sixers only have 15 losses as well. So you have the Pacers in ninth as well at 10 and 15, as well as tied with the Chicago Bulls at 10 and 15, and the Detroit basketballing Pistons at 10 and 15. India have been horrible. Chicago can't play defense, and Detroit are a team on the up, but are still sort of just trying to figure out their ass from their elbow. Right? It's like, hey, is Jalen Duren good? It's like, we don't know. Is he good defensively? Not really. It's like, hey, we're good Tobias Harris. And he's like, you got a boss. Here's 14 points. You're like, fuck yeah. Then in 12th, you have the Philadelphia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s. So this is why pump the brakes on the panic thing. They're 7 and 15 now, having won a couple on the trot. They've gone 5 and 5 in their last 10. They now have Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey healthy at the same time for the minute. They don't play again until Friday. It's just a nice little break for the Sixers. They should be okay. If they stay healthy, they should be still within the playoff mix, right? Then you got the Hornets at 7 and 17, who are just beset by injuries. It stinks. LaMelo, Brandon Spindles-Miller is carrying this team, but they've also, I think they're without Miles Bridges as well, and I think Trey Mann. They're missing 3 of the top 4 scorers, and Brandon Spindles-Miller is just like, bro, what the hell? But they did snap their 8-game losing streak. Oh, God. Against, who did they beat the other day? It was hilarious. They went and beat, I want to say Indy. Yeah, they beat Indy. Very funny stuff. Then you have Toronto at 7 and 18 after that dispiriting loss. Their big problem is they can't win away from Canada. They're 1 and 11. That's not good. Not good at all. And now you've got Scotty Barnes having injured his ankle where he couldn't feel it. So I don't know. It's probably not a good sign. They've been good when he's been out there playing point guard. And then boom, he gets injured again. You're like, God damn, it's the Scotty Barnes curse. And then you have the worst team in the NBA, the Washington Wizards at 3 and 19. They're just a fucking bin fire. Simple as that. Out west, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 18 and 5 at the moment. Not bad. A point differential that leads the league 11.9, i.e. they're just kicking the shit out of teams. Checks out. They won 3 on the trot. They look awesome. They have a great game tomorrow against the Mavs. The Memphis Grizzlies are second and 17 and 8 in the West. Not bad considering they've missed a bunch of Ja Morant. They're also awesome at home. They're 11 and 3 in Tennessee. Not bad. The Houston Rockets are 16 and 8, tied with the Mavs at 16 and 8 for 3-4 in the West, which checks out. They've been very, very fun. And the Mavs are riding the biggest win streak in the NBA right now at 7. As I've said, though, on yesterday's show, if they hadn't just blown that shit game against Miami, it'd be like a 12-13 game win streak. But still, beggars can't be choosers, and that's the Mavs fans right there. And Houston, look, they have these weird ups and downs, but they are 9 and 3 at home. Makes a big difference. And Ime Udoka, like the way that Houston went out and beat the Clippers professionally the other day was very nice. They have these weird blips, but they will because they're a young team. But still, 16 and 8, nothing to sneeze at. Then in 5th, you have the Golden State Warriors at 14 and 9, having basically gone on a bit of a slump that they broke out of with a big win over the Wolves. Prior to that, they had lost, 5 on the trot? 5 on the trot, and then they beat Houston, then lose to the Wolves, then beat the Wolves. So, bit of a weird one. It's like every time Steph plays, you feel like they've always got a chance. When he doesn't, you're like, I don't know, how scrappy can they be? And then boom, they'll pull out a win over Houston. You're like, what the hell's going on? But the Warriors, their defense is still really, really good. It's like the 3rd, 4th best in the West at the moment. It has dropped off a little bit, but I think as they sort of figure out this starting lineup with Draymond on the bench and Kuminga, old Johnny Cumdog millionaire cruising, they should be all right. The Clippers are in 6. Look, Golden State, just to bang on, they don't have a great team, and they're going to have these weird swoons, I reckon, throughout the season. But building yourself a 14-9 record makes a big, big difference. It means you can ride them out and probably maybe still be a playoff team. Maybe. The Clippers are 14 and 11. They're in 6th at the moment, 9 and 6 at the Intuit Dome. They haven't dropped a couple on the trot. They rested James Harden last game. The Clippers are just a bit of a weird one. It's like, hey, we've got Norm Powell and Harden and Zoobs and Kawhi. Is reportedly sometimes almost in tears because he feels like he's let the Clippers down. It's like, I don't know. I feel he could probably just play, you know? Or he's injured. I mean, is he? I'm just saying. The Denver Nuggets are in 7th. They're 12 and 10. So that's the same sort of thing, right? The Heat are 12 and 10 and they're in 5th. The Nuggets are 7th in the West in a dogfight, looking crazy old, carried by the Joker. You have the Lakers. The Lakers got a win yesterday, but other than that, they are pretty bad. They're 13 and 11. The Wolves are 12 and 11, same as the Suns in 9 and 10. The Wolves are going to feature in a second in the disappointing teams, and the Suns are just, if they don't have Kevin Durant, they lose. So, yeah, direct correlation. 1 and 9 without him. Not great. It's like, oh, we've got Devin Booker and Brad Beal. It's like, yeah, you just said the phrase Brad Beal is on your team. That's quite literally barely ever helped anyone win ever. Just saying. They also are missing Nurk. And when you're missing Nurk, you're in a bad spot. The Spurs, so that's the last of the play-in spots. Outside of that, you've got 11th. You've got the Spurs at 12 and 12. And at 12 and 13, the Sacramento Kings, who have just ripped off, 281 points in the last 2 games. Very nice. But outside of that, who knows what you're going to get from day to day with the Kings. Then you got the Blazers at 8 and 16, and they are just a horror show at times. I don't know if Chauncey Billups still has a job, but I guess he can sort of point to his injuries every so often and go, hey, man, we don't have anybody. It's like, okay. The Yaz, it's a soft J, are 5 and 18, and they sometimes look like they've never played basketball before. And the Pelicans just have no one healthy. They're 5 and 20, and they've just lost Spindles Ingram again, having played without Zion for a bunch of time. And it's one of those things where you look at the Grizzlies, who are 17 and 8, the grit and grind system-built Grizzlies, who have weathered not having Ja for ages. And then the Pelicans, you're like, oh, but they've literally just had like 6 of their top 7 players out at times. Now they've got DeJounte back. They've got CJ McCollum back. But they lose Spindles Ingram again. Zion, who the fuck? He's not, as I said, he's not playing again until January unless it's like a big surprise. And they stink, so they should be tanking. And there you go. That is your standings check. So out of all that, Jim, who are the 5 most disappointing teams so far? Basically, which teams do you hate the most so far this season? When they're on, you're like, I don't want to watch. This just annoys me. So annoying me at the moment. Number 5, the Bucks. They should be way better than they are. They look old and creaky. Now they've got Middleton back. They're a little bit more, like, he's still old, don't get me wrong, but they make more sense geometrically, if that makes sense, right? So Dame and Giannis, they're going to do their thing. Adding Middleton to the mix, along with, Taurean the Red Bull Prince. And, I mean, that's cool. They're okay. They're 12 and 11. Doc annoys me. But by the same token, like, they put up a really good fight against Boston the other day. I just want to see more of that. Like, they should just live as a dangerous floater, right? The 3rd, 4th, 5th best team in the East. Maybe a little bit better. Scare the crap out of somebody. But up until now, they've been wildly disappointing. They should have been way better. Now they're turning the corner. Number 4, Sacramento. As I mentioned, you never, like, they can drop 140 or they can just stink and just be horrible. And you're like, oh, I hate this team. I just hate them. And Darren Fox is like, I'm not happy. Maybe trade me. What do you reckon? And you're like, oh, this could all go pear-shaped very quickly. If you've gone out and signed DeMar DeRozan to fix your woes and it's instead just fucked your spacing. And you're like, oh, what a surprise twist there. Because, last time DeMar DeRozan was on a winning team was checks notes fucking barely ever. Right? So it's like, oh, we need more scoring. We need more clutch scoring. It's like, yeah, can he shoot some fucking threes, though, and let Suva and go to work in the paint and Fox and Malik Monk do their thing, driving lanes here and nah. We've got DeRozan, sure. They've just been a disappointment. The New Orleans Pelicans, very disappointing as well, but that's just a lot of injury-based gear. The top 2 are the ones that really stick. Like New Orleans, you look at this and go, coming into this season with a healthy Zion, and then he was just never healthy. Spindles Ingram, DeJounte Murray, they make the trade. They've completely fucking cooked that. You wouldn't trade DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels straight up right now. No fucking chance. And they've fucked that completely, and they're just shit as well. You're like, this fucking sucks. Like, when the Pelicans are bad, it is one of the saddest situations in the NBA because no one fucking cares about that team. You've got an electric superstar like Zion, and he never plays. And boom. It's just shit. And then, so the last 2. Number 2, Philadelphia. That's no shit. Oh, can we fire it up? Ring a ding ding ding. Oh, duh! Yeah, they're pretty disappointing, Jim. They're 7 and fucking 15. Oh, I know. The thing is, to get to 7 and 15, even with their sort of like, oh, we don't have Joel Embiid. It's like, yeah, but you shouldn't still be this shit. We don't have Paul George. Yeah, but you shouldn't still be this shit. It's like, what? You got Jared McCain, who's like, spoiler alert, 2nd in Rookie of the Year for me right now. And you've still been horrible. I don't know what the fuck happened to interesting, innovative Nick Nurse, but it feels like he just like took a crap and, well, I don't know, like did he also become in charge of like a healthcare fund or something and get fucking shot in the back on the street? Like, what is going on? I can't believe they reckon they found that dude. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, he definitely tried to use the same fake ID, that the only one that he had that could be tracked. Morons. Anyway, Philadelphia just stink. And it's so frustrating. When you watch them, you can sort of see the outline of what they should be. And we're going to have to give them another month, basically, well, another couple of weeks at least, till we get to sort of that Christmas mark and go, are they good? It's like, did Embiid and George know how to play with each other, and Maxey? We're going to find out. It's going to be a weird one. And then finally, Minnesota are the biggest disappointment so far this season, aren't they? Their defense has completely fallen off a cliff. They traded Cat. It's like, as KG said last week, you traded the wrong fucking dude. Everyone knows it. It's like, yes, they did. Karl Anthony Towns, for as an annoying fucking weirdo basketball player as he is, he goes to New York. He fits perfectly. How you managed to fuck that up so royally, Minnesota, is chaos. Like, Julius Randle, talk about like, yeah, never been on a winning team. That sort of vibe. Like, I mean, as soon as he went out last year, guess what happened with the Knicks? They got fucking good. And then DiVincenzo has just gone, fuck, man, I used to be awesome. What happened? He's completely fallen off a cliff. But my biggest disappointment this entire season has been Anthony Edwards, just in general. Like, the entire thing should have been, this is the ascending year, right? This is your year to make that absolute fuck you, super duper star leap. And he just has not done it. Like, the stats are still there. He's shooting a fuck ton more threes, though. And you just have those moments of like, dude, like, come on. This is your 5th year in the NBA now. And you're taking way more threes than you ever have. You are averaging more points than you have. It's like gone up from 25.9 to 26.4 this season. But by the same token, his like field goal percentage has dipped because he's taking almost 4 more threes a game. He went from 6.7 to 10.5. He's hitting them at a really good clip. But the problem with that is like it actually makes your other sort of extraneous stats sort of dip that a little bit. Obviously, your field goal percentage, etc., goes a little bit wonky as well. But outside of this, the way that he's playing annoys the crap out of me. Like the lack of driving, and I guess it's because Rudy's in there and Cat's not out there spacing the floor for him. And it just looks like dog shit. So his effective field goal percentage is up a little bit as well because of the threes. But I think the big one for me is the lack of free throw attempts. Like, he's actually gone down from last year because he's taking, 4 more threes a game. He's taking 2 less free throws per game. That's not the right fucking way that should be going. So, yeah, it sucks. He's just fucking annoying. Like, he can turn a corner. The problem is, as I've sort of pointed out, he's also seemingly, apparently, allegedly got fucking 8 kids. And you're like, that's just too many. Stop having kids with randos. And when I say 8, it's maybe like 4. But by the same token, again, you have 22, 23? Fucking quit it. Anyway. All right. And finally, let's do it before we get into the NBA Cup. Quarter season awards revisited. Jokic, Giannis, AD, SGA, and Donnie Mitchell for the MVP, right? That's the way I've got them ranked at the moment. Jokic ahead of Giannis, not really even just anymore. It's like fucking Jokic, then a bit of daylight, then Giannis. Then AD. He's been really, really good. SGA behind Anthony Davis, and Donnie Mitchell has been awesome for the Cavs. Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle ahead of Jared McCain and Dalton Connect. Outside of that, you've got Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson. What he's doing in Cleveland is ridiculous. Cleveland! You've got Ime Udoka down there in Houston and Jamal Mosley for Orlando. Keeping Orlando's head above water has been awesome. Sixth Man of the Year, Pritch better have my money. Peyton Pritchard. Buddy Hield, Ty Jerome, obviously other candidates there. Most improved player is Dyson Daniels. That's right, the Aussie, the great barrier thief. The Bendigo Bandit. Ahead of J-Dub and Franz Wagner, before he got injured. And Defensive Player of the Year is Dyson Daniels as well, ahead of Wembley and Mobley. That's right. Wemby and Mobley. There you go. All right. Let's do it. Shall we do a bit of a game previews for tomorrow? Whoa, that was loud. Let's do it. And we'll have nahs and all the usual stuff tomorrow, but this will be it for today. So we've got the 2 games. So after that 1 game today, we've got the 2 games tomorrow, and it's the 1-4 seeds in the NBA Cup. So let's do a bit of a game preview. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jimmy. You excited about the NBA Cup? Yes, I am. The knockout phase is always really fun, and we've also got one really, really, really good game tomorrow. We did have two, and then Franz Wagner got injured. So first up, we've got Magic at Bucks, 1-4 seed in the East. Pretty fun one. This would have been awesome, but then Franz Wagner hurts his right oblique, and you're just like, this is just, oh man, we didn't ask for this. It stinks. It stinks. It stinks. So we are left with an Orlando versus the Milwaukee Bucks game for the knockout. The Bucks are 7.5-point favorites at home, and with that in mind, like, you feel like Johnny Isaac got a bit of a rest last game. Maybe he's all geared up to go and try to guard Giannis, and if you had to purposely build somebody to try and guard Giannis, it feels like Johnny Isaac. You've got Jalen Suggs still that you can throw at Dame Lillard. The big problem for Orlando will be like, well, where the fuck do the rest of the points come from? And Milwaukee's defense has been substantially more improved the last couple of weeks as they've gotten these wins. I think I'm going to take the Bucks minus 7.5. I don't like it, but without Franz Wagner, hello, and Palabankara, like, Jalen Suggs should probably carve up Dame. Suggs most likely have a half-decent shooting night, but the problem is just everywhere else. So Giannis should run roughshod. They're at home. And the Bucks, look, they are a fascinatingly weird, strange team, right? In general, the Bucks. But I feel like they'll be a little bit too good. They're 8-4 at home. The Magic Men, 7-9 on the road. There was a bit there where they just couldn't win on the road. Then they went west and beat everybody. But we're going to take the Bucks minus 7.5. Then we have Dallas at OKC. This is unbloody real. Dallas go to OKC. And you think to yourself, where have I seen this before? And you go, oh, that's right, last year's playoffs. So the 1-5 in the playoffs last year, it's a 1-4 in the NBA Cup this year. It's very exciting, very fun. And, geez, what happened in the playoffs last year? Yeah, that's right. Dallas beat them. A couple of those games weren't very close. But then, like, Dallas split the two in OKC. And it feels like they're going to have a pretty good shot at doing it again, right? I'm just going to lean towards, without Chet out there and Derek Lively playing his ass off of late and the Dallas defense being much more improved, I'm going to take Dallas and the 4.5 points. They might not win it, but I think they can get this close. But yeah, it's weird that we have an Orlando-Milwaukee game that promised so much, and now that Franz Wagner's out, it just, like, it sucks. But then we get a Dallas OKC game that has, like, two of the best teams in the NBA right now having a crack. So this is why the NBA Cup is bloody awesome. Then on Thursday, you've got the 2-3 seeds. You've got Atlanta and Trae Young and Dyson Daniels going up against the Knickerbockers at MSG. That's going to be absolutely fucking electric. Cannot wait. And then you've got Golden State at Houston. Bit of bad blood there. That's going to be unreal. Jalen Green up against Steph Curry there. And Alperen Şengün. I'm trying to figure out. Turkey. So he's Turkish. And this is the classic question. Turkey, European or no? And that's what is going to be fucking firing around in Draymond Green's head. He's like, do I have to try to kill a motherfucker or not? And we're about to find out. But anyway, so tomorrow, Wednesday games, we're going to wrap these ones up on tomorrow's show. This is Orlando, Milwaukee. Can't wait for that. We're going to take Milwaukee in that one. And then Dallas against OKC. We're taking Dallas plus 4.5. So should be fun. And the cool part is I'm going to send out a link tomorrow that you can go and track all these picks and some other vibes that I'll be having. So if you're watching those morning videos, just saying, there's more fun stuff to come. It's a good way to support the show. But either way, we'll be back on deck tomorrow to wrap up those two awesome games. Because that is it for today. So in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Of course, all the good stuff. We're all over the socials. Get around NFL Straya with myself and Gaz, of course. We'll be doing that show just after this one. Oh, jeez. Check us a rating review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, your YouTube, whatever app you use on your Android phone. It does help out heaps. So write a review, star it, all that. Just make sure you subscribe. Subscribe on your mum's phone, your partner's phone. They keep just getting automatically downloaded. They don't have to listen to it. I don't care. But, you know, make sure they're subscribed. Help a brother out. It's the giving season. Go and do that. And get around all of our other shows. The Cricket Today podcast, or Cricket Today show. The second test was a absolute rip snorter over in 2.5 days. I did feel like I had to get on that show and be like, oh, these tests these days don't go for long enough. The old man yells at crowd. And then you've got the Football Today podcast as well, talking all things soccer, and hold all tickets for your GGs. But of course, AFL Today and AFLW Today as well for your footy. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hatch as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, iOS, Sex Shadow, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you listen to your tunes through. Support some Australian bands. That's what we do here. So NBA Straya supports Australian bands. You should as well. All right, that'll do us for today. We will catch you tomorrow. Hope you like the quick one. We'll be out right now. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? Hopefully I'm a little bit healthier tomorrow. Bit scratchy, I'll tell you what. Jesus. Look after yourselves. And let us know.